You're probably blaming cash flow, or the wrong hires, or bad timing. But those aren't your real problems. They're symptoms. And there are three mistakes underneath all of them that I watched take down businesses, including two of mine. The good news, once you see them, they're fixable. Let me show you. So, mistake number one, you're getting ready instead of getting reps. Perfectionism is nothing more than a fear with a better name. In most businesses, it's fear of failure wearing a disguise. You're not refining the product because it needs refinement. You're refining it because releasing it means getting feedback. And feedback means finding out if the market actually cares. That's the part you're avoiding, because feedback might confirm that you had nothing. And that feeling is more painful than simply not knowing. But here's what it really costs you. By the time you feel ready, by the time the product is good, the window has often moved. The message that felt fresh 6 months ago is now stale. The customer pain you were solving has evolved. You spent all that time getting it perfect, and you optimized for the wrong thing. And even if the timing is still right, even if you launch and the product is excellent, you've created a second problem. You've gone deep instead of wide. You built one thing well instead of testing multiple directions fast. The market doesn't reward perfection, it rewards relevance and repetition. From my own experience, for some people, testing fast and adjusting course comes naturally. For others, me included, who are wired to obsess over details, it's genuinely hard to let go of that. What helped me most was Pareto's principle. 20% of the effort gets you 80% of the result. That means you can put something out at a fraction of the quality you're aiming for and still get meaningful market feedback, real feedback, from real people who will either buy or won't. That feedback is worth more than any internal police session. Reps beat quality every single time. Quality is what you layer on once you know you're building the right thing. The second mistake, you're running a company that doesn't exist yet. The second mistake is sneakier. With one of my companies, I saw early, very promising traction, and my brain immediately took off. Who do we hire next? What markets can I expand into? What if we acquire a competitor to further accelerate the expansion? At the time, this forward momentum felt like vision. It felt like exactly what a founder should be doing. The fantasy of what's possible became so vivid that the unsexy grinding work of right now started to feel, well, beneath me. I was mentally running a company 3 steps ahead while the one I actually had started slipping because there wasn't enough of my attention left over for now. I was running a company that didn't exist yet. I caught it just in time, and it took an enormous amount of work to pull things back. The problem with letting imagination run is that the present always requires more attention than the future. Always. And the moment you start planning for a version of the company that doesn't exist yet, you start neglecting the one that does. So here's what I found to be the best solution to avoid this. I give imagination a container. 1 day a month, dedicate to strategic thinking. The rest of the time, when a big idea surfaces, I write it down immediately and close the loop. It's out of my head, it's captured, it's not lost, but it's also not running the show. That single habit removed more mental noise than almost anything else I've tried. Your imagination is an asset, but unmanaged, it's a liability. Mistake number three, you're planning an empire before you've built a foundation. The third mistake is probably the most counterintuitive one. You're planning too big, not too big in terms of vision. Vision's fine. Too big in terms of the roadmap you're building before you've earned the right to build it. Here's what I've seen and lived. When someone walks into a new business or a pivot with a plan to build an empire, they increase their failure rate dramatically. Not because ambition is wrong, because empire scale planning requires empire scale assumptions. And almost none of those assumptions are grounded in reality yet. You don't know your customers deeply enough. You don't know which edge cases will become your biggest problems. You don't know which opportunities are real and which ones just look real from the outside. And the bigger the plan, the more fragile it is against the things you didn't know you didn't know. Most empires weren't planned. They were built step by step by people who got obsessively good at one thing, then expanded from strength. Google tried to sell itself for $1 million back in 1999. Netflix for 50 million. These weren't empires in the making, they were scrappy, cash strapped companies taking the next available step. The empire was a byproduct of that, not the plan. Step by step isn't a lack of ambition, it's how durable businesses actually get built. Plan for stability, execute with precision, let the opportunities come to you from a position of strength, not from a position of wishful thinking. But here's the part most people miss entirely. All three of these mistakes share the same root. And it's not a strategy problem, it's how you're wired to process uncertainty. Specifically, three types of optimism. Two of them dramatically increase your chances of success. The third one, disguised as confidence, is quietly destroying your decision making. Watch this next to learn how to develop the optimism that sharpens your decisions and why the third type is silently working against you.